Real quick before this video starts, I want to give a huge thank you to Chivo for editing this video. I don't know if I've ever said this on one of these videos before in these intros, but Chivo does not get paid to do these videos. He just kind of offered to edit my King Gizzard reactions into videos one day, and I was like, I mean, sure, if you want to. I'm not going to be able to pay you, but if you want to do it just as like a fun thing, then that's fine. And he said yeah, and he's been editing a bunch of stuff for me since. So yeah, massive thank you to him. I greatly appreciate it. Also, I've already heard all of the King Gizzard albums. This video's from months ago, so yeah, don't worry about telling me which one I need to listen to next. I have heard all of them, and yeah, reactions to all of them will be up at some point, including the new album, which I will be editing myself. And yeah, with that being said, that is about it. Enjoy the video. Gumboot Soup. This one is the album that's just like a mix of a bunch of different sounds, isn't it? Sounds decently well received. It's 11 tracks, 44 minutes. Let's see. I have faith that I'm gonna end up enjoying this. Track 1, Beginner's Luck.
Join me at the table if you'd like to.
London is one of the best cities I've been to. Really?
That's filling your
Oh, one of the best cities you've been to.
is waiting to be spent. Even if you lose a few chips, it's cheaper than the bar.
Also, Nacho was a great character.
Beginner's luck.
He did grow to be one of my favorites by the end.
You've got dollar signs inside your eyes. The beginner's luck. Now don't mess it up. If you get too stuck, just blow.
I'm a what?
The king extends his head. Now don't mess it up. If you get too stuck, just blow. All your money's scared, and you're down to betting skins. But have you heard of a trick called spooking? It'll help you win. Beginner's luck, of course, backfired. Caught red-handed by the eye in the sky. The beginner's luck. Now don't mess it up. The beginner's luck. Now don't mess it up. The beginner's luck. Now don't mess it up. If you get too stuck, just blow. The beginner's luck.
The song is okay. I'm liking a lot of the individual pieces of this song more than the bigger picture. Guitars here sound great. I think they're right interesting. Some cool stuff going on with the drums too, but I feel like I don't know, I just feel like the bigger picture of this track isn't the most interesting, in my opinion. It's a solid opener, it's fine, but I just feel like of all of the opening tracks to a King Gizzard album, this is one of like the least memorable. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't really get me too hooked. It doesn't have me too like on the edge of my seat to see what the rest of the album is going to be like. You know what I'm saying? I am feeling a high 6 on that first song. That has since grown to be a low 7. While I do think the pacing of this song is a little bit off, and it is kind of a pretty simple way to start the album to a slight fault, I do find the song to be a little more gripping than I initially thought it was, and it definitely is not a bad track by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, I think that the strong elements of this song outweigh the negatives enough for me to say that it is good. So for that reason, yeah, it gets bumped up to a low 7 instead of a high 6. Greenhouse Heat Death. This was 2017 was the year where they were going to try and put out 5 albums, and they only ended up doing 4. Well, I say they only. Oh no, they did do 5. Oh wait, no. Was it Changes that was originally meant to come out in 2017, and then that had to be pushed back because they couldn't finish it in time, and then they swapped it out for Gumboot Soup instead? Is that the correct lore? Because yeah, they did Microtonal Banana, Murder of the Universe, Sketches of Brunswick East, Polygon Dwanaland, and Gumboot Soup. Yeah, see, my lore, I'm a genius. I'll say my lore memory. After 4 studio albums and 2 international tours in 2017 alone, one of them King Gizzard would come for the year. With a lot more promise, something like some kind of action is all that we didn't on release that separate from the first. Gumboot Soup is an eclectic mix of songs, some exist between albums with the concept of one on the sound of another. Others simply just built to run the ball, waiting for future projects to fit into. But according to thinking of these 3 sides, Gumboot Soup is a high quality combination. The high-quality combination of the insane projects to release 5 studio albums in 1 calendar year, arriving just in time in the last days of December. Oh, it literally came out on the 31st of December 2017. I like that song a lot more than the first one. A decent bit more than the first one, in fact. I thought that was a very interesting, very desert-y sounding track. In fact, I'm going to try and piece together what albums each of these songs were meant to land on. Beginner's Luck. I'm going to guess Brunswick East, because I haven't heard that one yet. Greenhouse Heat Death. Let me look back at what albums came out in 2017 of theirs. Polygon, Brunswick East, Murder of the Universe, and Microtonal Banana. I'm gonna guess this one was meant to land maybe on Polygon? Oh, Microtonal. Actually, yeah, probably Microtonal. Yeah, the desert-y feel. Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know, I feel like it carries over a lot of the same energy that album does. Honestly, the same quality as well. Microtonal Banana is great, and that song's great too. I don't feel like it's quite on the same level as a lot of the songs on that album, but still, I think it's a very solid track. I'll give it probably like a flat 8, honestly. Speaking of desert, we got Barefoot Desert up next. This one was meant to be on Polygon, definitely. change this track. In all fairness, I haven't heard Brunswick, so like my closest point of reference. People don't really like Brunswick East that much. The song was okay. That was pretty good. I don't know. It sounds like going on a. The sound of the song feels like you're going on a little adventure. Specifically, again through the desert. I feel like this sound maybe could have been a little more filled out, and it could have explored a couple more avenues. I do feel like it did sort of start to just get a little too repetitive as the song went along. But all in all, I do feel like it's still a solid track, still a decent one. Wouldn't skip it, return to the album by any means. I give it a low 7, I think. This one's a cute enough, fun enough little waltz, but honestly, returning to it, I just found it to be super uninteresting, dude. I was struggling to pay attention during this song. The highs are decently high, like I think there's some cool stuff going on with the drums throughout this song, and I do think the woodwind elements do sound pleasant, but man, this song just feels like a desert, and not in a good way. I'd probably lower this to about like a solid to high 6. Muddy Water. Okay. This song is another good one, but not quite a great one. Yeah, this one feels almost like a sea shanty to me, except put through the King Gizzard machine, you know what I'm saying? It's a decently catchy song. The instrumental is interesting enough, but I sort of feel like this song has a very big piece missing to bring it up to like that next level. And I can't quite put my finger on what that is. Maybe it's that it just kind of dances around the same idea for the vast majority of the song. I don't know, but I don't know. There's something holding this album back from being great at this point. There's been a lot of good songs, but nothing so far that stood out to me as being like, wow, that is like really great. The song's a flat 7. Superposition. How's it going, Mag? I have a question. On Album of the Year, are these based on like the averages of their albums? So it's like their average user score is 76 and their average critic score is 74? Or is this like a separate thing? I was looking through 76 would make sense as like their average user. Huh? Still got another minute of this song. I like the electronic elements of this song. I think they work very well. And the vocal effect too, I thought, actually didn't sound too bad. That was the best song so far, easily. Really nice addition of the electronic elements. I think that the vocal effects worked really well on that song. The little minute-long instrumental that you get at the end is really sweet as well. I feel like that is easily the most, like, fully realized song up to this point on the album. I feel like that one is the most fleshed out, the one that is given the most time to breathe, and I think that it works in the song's favor. I would give that one like a 8.4, 8.5. A tropical house industrial metal video game soundtrack album. That would honestly go crazy though. Imagine it. King Gizzard, tropical house mixed with industrial metal for a video game. That would be heat. Next up we got Down in the Sink. Song is really trippy on me as it goes along. It started off sounding really interesting. I was actually intrigued to see where it was going to go. It just doesn't feel like it's going anywhere. This section's kind of nice. Yeah, that song, I don't know, it starts strong, it ends strong, but everything in the middle just kind of feels like it's losing me. The song just doesn't feel like it goes anywhere. Like, after the first minute and a half, I'm just sort of completely out of that track. I'm just sort of like, okay, it's not doing anything to interest me. It's not really providing anything new. It just sort of does the same thing for 3 minutes, then has like the little switch up at the end, I guess. That one is a high 5 for me. I'll probably up that a little bit to like a low 6. It's a little bit better than I gave it credit for. It has some catchy qualities. It has some fun instrumental moments throughout it. But I still couldn't say that I really loved the track or that I'd see myself coming back to it on its own all that much. Great Chain of Being. Oh yeah, Spotify is bugging. It's not letting me see the lyric card. Some metal track.
I am up with eyes to the sky. I wait for my time to rise. I come to disturb the
Well, it's a bit fancy. This one is actually going hard. Despite the fact that it's not really switching up much outside of like... Okay. Oh, this song influenced to make that. Yeah, you can definitely see how they would go from this on to the more like straightforward thrash or brass smash, yeah. Tough to say. Probably just him on his own, to be honest. I don't know why, but I never like it when there's two Nice. Great track. Nice to see them dipping their toes into metal for the first time a little bit. You can definitely see how this would influence them to do like the more straightforward thrash stuff on Rat's Nest. And you could see how this would also fit on Murder of the Universe too. I think that track works really well. Bassline is fantastic. I think that the switching time signatures keeps it feeling fresh constantly. I do wish it maybe switched up a little bit more at certain spots, but I feel like for a 4-minute and 50 metal track in this style, it was able to keep me interested all the way throughout, and it's one I would return to. So for that reason, it gets a low 8. The Last Oasis. The lyric card is working again. That means Spotify might be back up again. As I'm gonna guess this one was meant to be on Microtonal Banana. Does it have any microtonal instrument? I don't know. I'm not able to tell. I'm guessing purely based on aesthetics.
Last Oasis, like a flag beating in minutes, over lonely countries of death, like a black sea.
Maybe tracks that made before 2017 too. That's true. Hey, that's 2 songs in a row that I think are actually really great. It fits with Oddments. Yeah, I could see that. It feels like a more refined song that could fit on Oddments. Yeah. I don't know, that song was cute. It was fun. I like the switch up where everything sort of was moved to like all the way back here. And it all sounded like all crushed together, and it was like just moving to the left and right a tiny bit. There was some really cool like production elements for that track, and I also think that the way it progressed was really sweet too. Not one I would come back to that much, but one that I feel like is one of the strongest songs so far. I'd give that one like another flat 8. Bass has been so good on the sound so far. I agree, the bass has been great. All Is Known. That was probably my favorite so far, I think. Yeah, that one felt like it was the most filled out. It was the most energetic up to this point. Well, not the most energetic, but one of the most energetic up to this point. It felt the most like it would fully fit in on one of the previous 4 albums. I'm guessing Microtonal Banana. Yeah, this song, it sounds fantastic. This is like actually that, like, up there, that same level of quality I think that album has. I think that this is an actually incredibly put together track and easily my favorite so far. I think I'd give this one like a flat 9. I'm Sleepin In. I'm kind of torn on this one, I can't lie. Half of me is loving this and half of me thinks this is like, I don't know. Okay, that song... Listen, as much as I can recognize its glaring flaws, like, the song, not production-wise, but, like, as an actual song, it sounds unfinished. It sounds like there are massive chunks missing, but I still found that song to be kind of charming. I actually found myself enjoying that track a decent bit. It's not one I would come back to necessarily, but... it's not really like one I'd skip if listening to the album front to back necessarily. It's like a flat 7, the flattest 7 I can give, because there are glaring issues with that song. But still, I think it was charming enough to the point where I have to at least put it in the green. The Wheel, 5.5 minutes, longest song on the album by far. Also the final song. Final album, but that's true. This one's definitely a Brunswick East track. This is like really leaning into the jazziness. And we're supposed to see that what Brunswick? Oh yeah, Eyes Like the Sky is easily that was received. The Wheel, solid closer, solid closer. I know it's probably a Brunswick East leftover because it's leaning into the more jazzy elements. I know that album, I think it's that album at least that leans into their more jazzy stuff, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, jazz rock, I'm a genius. Yeah, it's solid. I'm not crazy on the track necessarily. I do feel like it's a bit too long. I do feel like the jazz elements aren't the most, interestingly executed or anything like that. I feel like they could have maybe done a few more cool things considering that it's a jazz rock song, but I don't know, it's decent enough. It works well as a closer to this album, and I feel like it's like a nice little bow for the album to be wrapped in. I would give this one a 7.5. Anyway, that was Gumboot Soup. This album's okay. Has some great tracks that I'm pulling out of it. I came out with 5 tracks that I ended up loving. Everything else ranges from meh to being okay. It's a solid enough blending of the styles of the previous 4 albums. I understand that it was kind of rushed. Well, it wasn't necessarily rushed. Actually, it wasn't rushed at all. The album technically was made under the time span of the previous 4 albums, but it's a collection of leftovers, you know what I'm saying? So I can't really expect it to be like as good as a Nonagon or a... Oh no, Nonagon didn't even come out in this year. I can't expect it to be as good as a Microtonal Banana or a Murder of the Universe or Polygon. But still, I think this is a genuinely solid collection of tracks. And they're leftovers from albums that I really enjoy outside of Brunswick that I haven't heard yet. So, it carries over some of the sonic aesthetics of those albums that I myself am a massive fan of. So it does gain points for that. And also I think that some of the songwriting on here is still really solid. I think that the performances are still top notch. And not only that, I feel like having it be just this cluttered mess of a bunch of different sounds, it does actually allow them to, not have to care about album flow and just sort of go crazy with it. It's a good release. It's a good release. I will add up the scores and then I will figure out what the big number is. Really? That score's a bit high. I thought it would be a little lower than that. I'm feeling a 7.5 out of 10 on this album. I thought it was going to be close to like a flat 7, maybe even a high 6. Yeah, most of the scores on here are 7s actually. It makes sense. We only have 2 songs. Okay, only 2 songs beneath a 7. Okay. 75 makes sense. Okay. Alright, let's add it to the King Gizzard ranking. So you need to go... Ooh, do I like this more than Silver Cord is the question. No, I don't. I'll put it at 18. I think Silver Cord is slightly better. I think Silver Cord is a more interesting album, even though it says less interesting version of PDA on it. Alright. I've listened to 23 King Gizzard projects now. Jesus Christ. It's insane. Aphex Twin or Oasis? That's a tough one right there. Don't know if I can answer that.
Welcome to hell.
I listened to, I put on Laminated Demo while I was falling asleep last night. Great sleep music.
What it feels like is it feels like it's dreamlike. Human being manipulated, gone drizzle, serotonin. Human being lubricated, drowning in oxytocin.
Is that like one of those dinosaur stick toys that I just seen? Where like you pull the thing and it opens his mouth.
Since to my brain I can't control myself anymore.
The zoo in Peppa Pig, yeah. Which song is this again? I've gone to the Alright, that has been added to the queue. Yeah, their electronic stuff actually works live really well. Some yo-yo battles, yeah. See, what I need to know is when are the UK dates going up, you know what I'm saying? That's what I need to know. They need to do that, like, now. Even though they're probably gonna be sold out and I'm not gonna be able to get any tickets, you know what I'm saying? Is he gonna hit the gong? Oh no, he's playing the electronic drums. If not Sweden, you're coming to England, yeah. So it's kind of uninteresting live. I will say, this isn't as like engaging as when they're like running around with like their guitars and stuff on stage going wild. It is interesting to see how they, you know, do their electronic stuff live though. If I'm being honest, if I'm in the crowd, I'm just going to be paying attention to the drums on an electronic song like this. I'm just going to be watching Michael here on the drums. Because yeah, watching them just sort of sit around isn't the most interesting thing to watch. It sounds great though. It's a nice switch for a little while, yeah. straight in between normal songs. Yeah. See, watching the drums is interesting, seeing how he has to play so much with dynamics to be able to match with the electronics. I do kind of wish that he utilized the electronic drums he has there a little bit more on this. What the hell is this camera? They just announced a fully electronic concert, sold out instantly. Fully electronic, huh? Sounds interesting. I don't know how well it would work in practice, but straight up they got that VHS camera. Yeah, as I was saying, having him play in the actual like just acoustic drum kit does add a nice does add some nice texture to this, but I feel like utilizing the electronic drums a bit more would be nice. Got a lot of electronic stuff they haven't played. Nice to see him playing around with like looping and stuff.
Alright, let's fucking go crazy!
They have a walkie-talkie on him. That's crazy. They just started trying the loops 2 shows ago. It's working well. They sound pretty cool. It's nice to see them like sort of essentially building these songs from scratch, like in the moment live. With the electronic stuff. It's really cool. See, that's pretty cool. The vocoder sung by Alicia. The camera quality got what? Let me see what quality it is. It's in 1080p. I know, they just got some cameras that look like VHS cameras. Oh, my camera. Damn, that is a collective like 6 pixels right there. Did the camera quality get worse? It looks okay on my end. Full screen this. It does look okay on my end.
Knocking on extinction star, prisoner of Earth's war. I see
Doing some sort of
solid
tour dog
toxic
later? That's pretty
seas,
cool.
poison soil and felled trees.
that was 144p? Okay, yeah.
Wasteland, shadow
say.
on the moon expanse. Set tries
I'm not
chaos,
going
but
crazy.
too late to unseal our future.
I always wonder how something like this forms where they start like running in a circle. Who initiates that? And how does I don't know.
Extinction. Era
of rapid decline, become not the dust of time. Rain up sorrow from dread clouds, Changers tears have all dried out. Jesus left us all alone, castles crumble with a groan.
It just happens outright.
Into heaven, serpent's ribs, let's go!
See, now he's using the electronic ones.
I can hear the music. I can see everything. I can feel the music.
Kim Wexler sends in Gumboot. Wow. We got Saul Goodman and Kim Wexler in here. Now, I'm not watching the whole performance. We literally were only watching up to 12:15:50. 2:15:50, sorry. 12-hour performance. That'd be crazy. That was cool. Seeing them experiment with some electronic stuff live. Seeing them doing some looping. Seeing them doing some live sampling. Stuff like that. That's pretty cool. I feel like it wasn't the most interesting thing to watch besides the drums. Seeing how he's like using a lot of dynamic range to sort of match the electronics with the drums. But I don't know, outside of that, it wasn't the most like interesting thing visually. But I think that actually seeing them experiment with the sounds and trying to build these electronic tracks from scratch live is genuinely very cool. Interesting live performance. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Massive thank you again to Chivo for editing this video. I greatly appreciate it. Let me know what you think of this album down below and how it compares to other King Gizzard albums for you. Make sure you like and sub if you haven't. We are on our way to 3K. Links in the description to my Discord, my album of the year, my Twitter, and my other channels. Check those out if you haven't. And check out the reactions to the other King Gizzard albums that are up on my channel. I haven't posted all of them yet, but they will all be out at some point, as well as any albums that they release moving forward. So yeah, make sure you stay tuned for those. And yeah, that is about it. I will see you all whenever I next stream or upload. Bye bye.